Emma, he said, standing at my doorstep, his voice laced with remorse. I've changed, and I'm so sorry for what I put you through. I hesitated, but there was a spark of sincerity in his eyes that caught my attention. Over time, we rebuilt trust, rediscovered love, and started a family. My name is Emma, and I'm 29 years old. Let me share a crazy story with you, something that happened in my life that I'll never forget. My husband and I decided to build a brand new house for my parents and us. We were looking forward to creating a comfortable space for our two families to live together. The construction went smoothly, and after months of planning and hard work, the house was finally complete. We were excited to move in, but little did we know that our plans were about to take an unexpected turn. On the day the house was finished, my husband brought his parents over. At first, I thought they were here to celebrate with us, but it soon became apparent that they had other intentions. They walked through the house, admiring it and saying how beautiful it was. I thought they were just being polite, but then my husband dropped a bombshell. He told me that his parents would be living in the new house with us. I was shocked and couldn't believe it. I never signed up for this, and it was supposed to be a house for my parents and us. I told my husband that we couldn't live with his parents, but to my surprise, he sided with them. I was hurt and angry, and I decided to take matters into my own hands. I reached out to a close friend named Sarah, a 27-year-old office worker who had been through her share of family drama. We had been friends for years, and I trusted her advice. After sharing my situation, she suggested that I needed to stand up for myself and my parents. She encouraged me to assert my rights and not let my husband and his parents take over the house we had built for my family. Feeling empowered by Sarah's advice, I confronted my husband. I told him that this house was meant for my parents and us, as we had agreed. He seemed dismissive and didn't take me seriously. This pushed me to seek legal help, and I hired a lawyer who specialized in divorce disputes. I was determined to protect my parents' rights and the home we had built for them. A few days later, I met with my lawyer and my husband to draft a divorce agreement. My husband agreed to the divorce itself, but he absolutely refused to leave the house. He and his parents believed that they had the right to stay there, even after our divorce. My lawyer tried to reason with them, but their audacity was astounding. My lawyer informed them that if they continued to live in the house without my permission, I could sue them for trespassing. They seemed to reconsider their stance, but still didn't want to leave. We included a clause in the divorce agreement that gave them a deadline to hand over the house to me. Despite signing the agreement, my husband and his parents had no intention of leaving. They acted as if they were the rightful owners of the house, and it infuriated me. I warned them repeatedly, but they just ignored me, thinking they could get away with it. Eventually, the day came when I had to give them one last warning. I reminded them of the agreement, but they laughed it off. They claimed that a divorce agreement was just a piece of paper and that they would continue to live in the house. They even belittled me, saying that I couldn't do anything to make them leave. I was fed up with their arrogance and decided to take legal action. I told them that I would sue them for trespassing, and their smirks faded quickly. They had lived comfortably for far too long, underestimating the situation. My lawyer and I were not bluffing. I called my lawyer right then and there, and as I explained the situation, my husband and his family realized I was dead serious about taking them to court. They were taken aback, but their pride prevented them from backing down. Instead, they resorted to emotional manipulation. They pleaded with me, claiming they were old and unable to work, that they had no place to go, and they would end up homeless and starving if I kicked them out. They tried to guilt trip me into letting them stay, but I stood my ground. I knew I had to protect my parents and our rights. With their leverage falling flat, they finally left the house, and I regained control of the property. It was a moment of victory, but it didn't end there. My in-laws started harassing me, causing trouble at my new house. They seemed to hold a grudge and tried to make my life miserable. I had anticipated their actions and had installed security cameras. I collected evidence of their harassment and the damages they caused. I was determined to make them compensate for the trouble they had caused. I decided to involve the police, providing them with the security camera footage and photos of the damaged items. The police promised to increase patrols in the area, and their attention seemed to scare my in-laws into stopping their harassment. Finally, I could enjoy some peace and quiet in my new home as the harassment had ceased. My parents and I settled into our new life in the house, and we were grateful for the peaceful days that followed. As for my ex-husband and his parents, I learned that they had moved to a cheaper area and were living in an old, affordable apartment. They struggled financially and couldn't save money. My ex-husband reportedly left them, frustrated with their financial habits and spending. After some time, his parents came to visit me, asking for help and a place to live. They claimed they had nowhere else to go, but I couldn't bring myself to assist them after all the trouble they had caused. I firmly told them to leave and not come back. But the story doesn't end there. My ex-husband started pestering me relentlessly, begging for another chance, and even stalking me. It became unbearable, and I had to involve the police again to stop his harassment. Finally, the stalking came to an end. I had successfully protected my parents and our home, and I was relieved to have finally put that chapter of my life behind me. My parents and I started living happily in our new home, appreciating the peaceful days we now enjoyed. I often think about the lessons I've learned through this experience and the importance of standing up for what is right. My parents raised me with love, and I vowed to be more devoted to them, cherishing every moment we had together. Life had thrown me a curveball, but I had come out stronger on the other side. Despite the challenges I had faced, I was determined to move forward with a renewed sense of purpose. My parents and I had finally found the peace we longed for in our new home, and we were committed to making the most of it. My parents were my pillars of strength, and I couldn't be more grateful for their unwavering support. They had raised me with love and care, and it was my turn to give back to them. We spent quality time together, cherishing each day as a gift. As the seasons passed, our home became a place of warmth and happiness. We shared stories, laughter, and delicious meals. My parents had a sense of security and comfort they deserved, and I took immense pride in being able to provide that for them. But life has a way of surprising us, and it wasn't long before my past came knocking on the door once more. One day, as I was tending to the garden in our new home, I received an unexpected visit. A familiar face appeared before me, someone I never thought I would see again. It was my ex-husband, who had once relentlessly pursued me with apologies and promises of change. He looked different now, wearier and more humbled. With an apologetic tone, he explained his situation. It turned out that his father had accumulated significant debt, forcing them to sell their original house. They had been living in a cheap apartment, but had struggled to make ends meet due to his parents' excessive spending. My ex-husband had left them, feeling overwhelmed by the financial burden and their inability to manage their finances. He had come to me in desperation, seeking a second chance, hoping I would forgive him and to take him back. At that moment, I faced a choice. I could have held on to my anger and resentment, or I could choose to show empathy and compassion. The years that had passed had changed him, and I saw a spark of genuine remorse in his eyes. But I also remembered the pain and turmoil his actions had caused, not just to me, but to my parents as well. It wasn't a decision I could make lightly, and I had to consider what was best for my own well-being and that of my parents. I calmly told him that while I could acknowledge his changed circumstances, the wounds from the past were not easily forgotten. I explained that I needed time to reflect on whether I could ever trust him again. Undeterred, he continued to apologize and promised to do whatever it took to make amends. He seemed sincere, but I couldn't make a hasty decision. I asked him to leave and give me the space I needed to think. As he left, I felt a mix of emotions, confusion, empathy, and a lingering feeling of caution. I knew that whatever decision I made would have a significant impact not only on my life, but on my parents as well. The days that followed were filled with self-reflection. I sought the counsel of close friends and confided in my parents about the unexpected visit. They understood the complexity of the situation and assured me that they would support whatever decision I made.
In the end, I chose to meet with my ex-husband once more. I needed to hear more about the changes he had made in his life and the steps he had taken to rectify the past. I made it clear that forgiveness would take time and would depend on his actions, not just his words. We met in a neutral place, away from the memories of our old life together. He shared the efforts he had made to become more financially responsible and independent. He had sought therapy to address the issues that had led to his previous actions and had made progress in understanding his role in the turmoil. I could see the genuine remorse in his eyes, and for the first time, I saw a glimmer of hope that he had truly changed. I didn't make any promises, but I was willing to consider the possibility of reconciliation. Over time, we took small steps towards rebuilding trust. It wasn't easy, and we faced challenges along the way. But with patience, understanding, and a commitment to open communication, we started to rebuild our relationship. While my parents were initially wary of the idea, they saw the positive changes in my ex-husband and realized that forgiveness and second chances can sometimes lead to growth and healing. They supported my decision, and we moved forward as a more resilient family. Life had taught me that sometimes the unexpected twists and turns could lead to valuable lessons in forgiveness, empathy, and resilience. Our journey was far from perfect, but it was filled with the hope of a new beginning and the determination to make the most of the second chance we had been given. As time passed, my ex-husband's efforts to rebuild our relationship began to show results. He was not only committed to making amends for his past mistakes, but also determined to be a better partner and, if given the opportunity, a better husband. Our journey towards reconciliation was marked by honesty and vulnerability. We had open and candid conversations about our past, our fears, and our hopes for the future. Trust was something that had to be rebuilt slowly, brick by brick, but we were both willing to put in the work. My parents, who had initially been skeptical, saw the positive changes in my ex-husband and began to accept him back into our lives. They could see the effort he was putting into our relationship and the genuine remorse he felt for the pain he had caused in the past. It wasn't a smooth ride, though. Rebuilding a broken relationship is never easy, and we encountered challenges along the way. There were moments when doubt and insecurity resurfaced, but we learned to communicate and support each other through those times. My ex-husband's relationship with my parents was another important aspect of our journey. He was not only mending his relationship with me, but also with my family. Over time, he earned their trust and respect by consistently showing his commitment to our family's well-being. We focused on creating new memories and experiences together, trying to put the past behind us. It was essential to move forward without holding on to grudges, and we found that forgiveness and understanding were powerful tools for healing. As our relationship continued to evolve, we decided to attend couples counseling. It provided us with a safe space to work through any lingering issues and learn effective communication and conflict resolution strategies. This decision helped us strengthen our bond and better understand each other. One of the most significant milestones in our journey was when we decided to start a family. We were excited about the prospect of raising children in our newly reconciled family and providing them with a loving and stable home. Becoming parents was a transformative experience for both of us. It brought us even closer together and allowed us to create a new chapter in our lives as a family. We were committed to being the best parents we could be, learning from our past experiences and striving to provide a nurturing environment for our children. Over the years, our relationship continued to grow and thrive. We cherished the everyday moments, celebrated milestones, and supported each other's personal and professional endeavors. Our journey had taught us the value of second chances, the strength of forgiveness, and the power of love. I often think back to the challenges we faced and how we overcame them through determination and understanding. Our story serves as a reminder that even in the face of adversity, it's possible to rebuild what was once broken and create a brighter and more promising future. As I reflect on the past and look toward the future, I am grateful for the opportunity to rediscover love, to strengthen family bonds, and to appreciate the second chance we had been given. Our story is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the potential for healing and growth in the face of life's unexpected twists and turns.